Hi, everyone. I'm Tanya Rivero. Thank you for joining us. We are learning new details about a deadly shooting at a festival in Gilroy, California yesterday. Police confirmed 2 of the 3 victims were children, a 6-year-old boy and a 13-year-old girl. The third was a man in his 20s. Authorities say 12 others were also wounded when a gunman opened fire at a popular garlic festival. The suspect was armed with an assault-type rifle. He was killed in a shootout with police. Authorities say they don't know if there was an accomplice nor what provoked the attack.
Well, I think any time a life is lost, it's a tragedy. But when it's young people, it's even worse. And, it's very difficult. I don't know that I don't know what, if any, association there is. It seems that this was a random act, but again, we've got a long way to go before we can come to a determination what his motivation was.
Danya Bacchus joins us now from Gilroy. Danya, it is so heartbreaking to learn these details from police, to learn that 2 of the 3 victims were children. What other details did the police give us?
Absolutely.
Sorry, go right ahead.
Yeah, Tanya, you know it is absolutely heartbreaking. No, I'm sorry. It is absolutely heartbreaking. If you are a parent, or even if you're not a parent, to think about young children coming to a festival with their families, playing, and then this gunfire ringing out, and them being a victim because of this. We were hoping to learn, I think, a lot more from police during this press conference this morning. Many people, of course, hoping to know why. That seems to be the lingering question that police say they are just not able to answer as of yet. Local police and federal authorities are now trying to investigate the why. One of the questions that authorities were saying is they're looking into motivation. They're looking into ideological leanings. Was he associated with one particular person or possibly a group? They wouldn't give many details about what they're doing to find these things out, but we do know if we look at previous investigations like this one, they usually go through things like social media. Of course, looking at websites that they were checking out frequently on their computers. So it seems like police are definitely saying here that this is going to be a long investigation, that it's going to take some time. They actually said that it was going to be a prolonged and complicated process.
Right, so it might be a while before we get more information about the suspect. What about the conditions of those wounded? Did we get more details on that?
They did give us a little bit more details, not much more than what we already know, just that there are more than a dozen people who were injured. I think the biggest thing that we did learn from those victims were the ones who were deceased that we mentioned at the beginning, the 6-year-old, a 13-year-old girl, and then they say a man who is in his 20s. We do know that the victims do their injuries range, that some people are in fair condition, which means that they're doing pretty good, that their gunshot wounds may not be that serious, that some have actually been discharged from the hospital already, and then we are hearing that some are in serious condition, which means that we don't necessarily know which way they could possibly go. Police not saying much more about those conditions.
Now, Danya, in regards to the suspect and whether or not he had an accomplice, we do know that police said they've heard these eyewitness accounts that perhaps there was another shooter or someone else with the shooter, but so far they say they haven't found any evidence of a second shooter or an accomplice. But I'd like to dig into what they said about the suspect's firearm. They called it an AK-47-like firearm. Do we have any more details on exactly what sort of weapon he used and how he was able to get this weapon? Police say he secured it legally.
Absolutely. They say he secured it legally. They say he actually purchased it a couple of weeks ago on July 9th in Nevada, that it is an AK-47 style assault rifle. So that's pretty much all that they were able to say. And again, when we think about the questions that, of course, we wanted answered by police, many people want to know the motivation, and then they want to know about that weapon. And it seems by this account that this weapon was purchased legally on July 9th, just a couple of weeks ago.
And it is worth pointing out that the suspect is only 19 years old, which seems rather young considering that you can't buy a beer until you're 21. But Danya Bacchus, we thank you so much for all your reporting there from Gilroy.